But as we've seen over the years we've been here, it just gets better and better, doesn't it?
Every year the level steps up, and there's new techniques that are thrown into the mix. You know, the Russians bring the wrestling.
So we continue.
And now over on the cage, one in blue corner representing Russia, Abay-Mухamad Šaropov. And in the red corner representing Kazakhstan, Abay-Jalal.
So we kick off again in the junior bantamweight division. Abay-Mухamad Šaropov from Russia in the blue corner, taking on Abay-Jalal from Kazakhstan. He's in the red corner. And this junior bantamweight division has had so much light shone on it over the last few years, in particular through the rising star that is Mohamed Makayev, Ryo Yamaguchi. Really did make this one of the divisions to watch, moving then into the seniors, obviously.
Sharapov now with the level changes, switching starts, leg kick. This is the feeling out process we sometimes see from higher level athletes. They're looking for the little nuances here. They're gauging the reactions, they're gauging the ins, they're feeling out their opponent's strengths and indeed weaknesses to look for a way in.
Lovely little left jab there coming from Mohamed. Mohamed progressed yesterday with a split decision over Levon Tazarian. Seen him come in today. There are so many Russian fighters in here in the semi-finals. That means they will get plenty of medals, bronze at least. But then, obviously being the Russian ambition, they are wanting to claim many, many spots in those finals for those golds, for those silvers. A real good showing for the host nation so far this year, Dean.
Now, one fight that I'm looking forward to as well, fight number 14, women's featherweight, Sabrina D'Souza and Michelle Montague. That is going to be a very highly anticipated fight here.
Yeah, that's the one to watch. That is the one everybody is talking about. And right now we have...
It's an armbar attempt here.
Yeah, Abay looking for that armbar, trying to get that right leg over the head of his opponent. Oof, nice reactions though. Mohamed just bounced out of the space, kept himself safe.
Sharapov now looking to drag this to the mat. Let's grab the roll.
Oh, look at this. Look at the amount of effort they're putting into not giving up the position, and now back to their feet up against the cage.
There was the underhook we saw from the right arm, and immediately he's able to obtain the outside position. When he had double underhooks on him, it was very difficult for him to utilise any circular motion. The second he gets an underhook, already he can find another avenue.
Round one in the books, and as we expected, today's first contest extremely close. This is once again razor thin as far as looking at how their skill sets match up and who's getting the advantage, the momentum in this opening bout for the junior bantamweights. And I know, Dean, neither of us have been in that position where we're spending each night in the hotel worrying and wondering and also dreaming about what could be as far as claiming that gold, having it round your neck. But what do you imagine as far as a fighter and even just that, as far as maintaining and controlling that sort of mental energy so you don't burn yourself out mentally, not physically, in this tournament?
Diamonds are forward shot pressure, and this is what the IMAF is. It's not for everyone. You know, look, there is an immense amount of pressure, immense amount of skill required, the travel, the diet, the whole week. You compete multiple times over the week. And I've done amateur tournament fashions in England There was one back in the day that potentially was the only one that was around 15 years ago, which was ET Amateur Tournament. And everyone from the UK used to come down to Sol Gilbert's gym in Hove, and we'd all jump in the cage and have multiple fights, and that was intensely hard, you know, knowing you have to fight again. But this was the same day, so it wasn't drawn out over a week. I can only imagine the pressure over the whole week.
And I can only imagine the pressure of multiple fights on one day, Dean. Wow.
It was difficult because you had to conserve, you know, you had to make sure that your cardio was on point.
Manage your adrenaline in between fights.
Yeah, also injuries as well. If you'd hurt your hand or your ankle, you'd have to kind of try to just get over it and pull the trigger. Sometimes you have to change your tactic. I hurt my ankle going into the second fight, so I couldn't shoot off my back foot, especially when it starts. And my shot's not powerful that big, caught my opponent off guard. So it's using that, you know, use the tools that are in front of you and start to try and be diverse in your skill set. And it's just a perfect proving ground to build it. The IMAF is over multiple days, different types of martial arts, different types of backgrounds. You know, the Russians bring wrestling, and sometimes the Irish and the Portuguese and the Spanish with the better striking. It really does forge like a path and a platform for these athletes to develop at a higher rate than they would normally if they weren't competing.
Nice shot there from Muhammad, now taking the back in the centre of the cage here. Now at this position, would you look for Abay trying to scoot to the cage, use that to help him? Oh, he's dropped the Kimura. Dropped the Kimura.
Just got to secure the wrist here. Just got to get that left arm on the wrist, so let it go.
Yeah, well, that's
just slide the grip. And it's difficult with these gloves as well. If you've ever worn these gloves, they've got so much padding because they're the amateur rule set, but also they're made quite tight, so it's hard to clench your fist, and that in turn is going to be hard to hold somebody's wrist when you're trying to grapple.
You sometimes see fighters, especially the ones that like to grapple, don't even wrap their hands, do they, Dean?
Yeah, this is it. Yes, they get a better grip, but also so more power translates through the knuckles and the padding.
Abay now looking in this double. He's got him elevated, taking him for a ride. Big slam. Right in front of this corner as well. So in front of his opponent's corner.
So now they're going to leg lace and try and walk up to the mount. Expose the back here. He's already got one hook in.
Yeah.
So all he's got to do is just turn around to his left and have that right leg as a hook. There we go. One hook in now on the right side. Looking for the left.
Good defense there though from Muhammad. Put the elbow up. Refused to let that second hook in. Look at the switch, the adjustment coming from Abay. And that is his corner, I apologise. Left and right mixed up.
Nice ground at the end of the round here.
Very interesting, Dean, especially from the midway point. There was not much happening in the first 1 minute, 30 seconds. Midway point, it was Muhammad that took the back, then dropping and almost sacrificing himself. Abay looking for that Kimura that ended up on bottom. He turned that position around, though, and managed to get the dominant grappling position at the end. Very, very interesting back and forth between these two. Here's the takedown, elevated. A solid slam there. And this is how he saw the end of the round out. And now set and ready for round number 3, third and final round. It's junior men's bantamweight semi-final. Muhammad Sharapov in the blue corner taking Abay-Jalal in the red.
Allow Mark in the centre of the cage here. Again, this is the filling out process, some head movement there from the blue corner. Oh, big overhand right. He continues with the ground and pound.
Followed him in. Double underhooks though. Push them against the cage.
Sharapov from the right thing here, controlling the posture of the head, looking to hold the half guard just to limit the damage.
strong opening though coming from Abay. And that's what you need from, especially in this third round in such a close matchup. There's only 3 minutes in these rounds. If you can get a good position, an eye-catching moment right early on, you leave your opponent chasing the fight.
Yes, a perfect setup for progression and a lot of action. You know, even on the feet, you've got to strike effectively, look for the power. And on the ground as well, you've got to be active, otherwise you're going to risk losing the top position.
Heavy pressure moving forward as Abay. Referee wants more action though. Needs to be seen to progress this position. Interesting then, you saw Muhammad almost pull himself away from the cage there, Dean. Do you think that's just a little bit of inexperience, maybe training with a cage, using a cage wall to get back up?
Yeah, I mean, again, if he wants to avoid the cages, he wants to avoid being stuffed into it and being blocked off by it, which allows his opponent is allowed to land some heavier shots. And the target on the heads, we've seen it here. You push your head underneath the chin, it shows you where the head is. The target's there, and the cage offers as an performance to block your opponent off. But on the contrary, there we can see the Sharapov who looked to get to his feet, as you alluded to. So when he's circling off the cage, I think he's trying to limit his opponent's ability to block him off and land decisive strikes.
50 seconds though now. 50 seconds left in this semi-final contest. And you can see that Muhammad is shrimping, trying to move, make space, but Abay is just sticking to him. Constant forward pressure from those hips, that upper body, those torso always engaged.
He's done a great job of following the hips of his opponent to the square. Doesn't allow the blue corner to get any sort of like angles. The angles here now, instantly there's a Kimura available, and there's other submissions he can set up. He's got the open come up, looking to set up a triangle. It'll be difficult from the side control here.
10 seconds. Very strong showing in the third round from Abay-Jalal, and now into Mount. What a way to finish this.
Dominant round there in the red corner and Jalal. Finishing really strong, skipping to the mount. I'd like to see him go to the mount earlier on though, because he could have done some more damage, potentially look for a finish.
So this one will go to the judges once more. Once again, 2 fights in on cage number 1 here, semi-final day, day 4, the IMAF Junior European Open Championships, and what closely fought set of contests we've had so far. Let's make it official. Let's hand it to Ricky Wright.
And tomorrow, cage 1, your winner by unanimous decision. In the red corner, representing Kazakhstan, Abay.